Und damit herzlich willkommen zurück bei Master Detectives Archives Raincoat. So rum, ja. Eieiei. Wie wollte er entkommen? Ersatz? Mit Zimmerpflanze gefunden. Ich habe gefunden wurde, er ist halt in Zeichnung einer Person mit Schwefelsäure bespritzt wird. Ja. Mit einem Double wollte er entkommen.
Oh, the door actually opened. I knew I could let Yuma handle it.
Are you sure you aren't a phantom?
Ja, das mit Säure ist halt schon das beste Indiz, kannst du sagen. Am Eingang vor Amaterasu. Oder Formeln?
So the doctor tried to swap places with someone else to escape from Amaterasu. The notes he left behind in the lab hinted at his plan.
You mean the diagram with the sulfuric acid being poured on someone?
Yeah, he was going to swap places with a corpse, then melt it with acid. He wanted to disfigure it beyond recognition. That's how he planned to fake his own death.
At the very least, it'd buy him enough time to escape Kanai Ward. Or so he thought.
Wow! Melting a corpse with sulfuric acid? Yay! So cool and grotesque! So who was the substitute supposed to be?
Maybe the hitman. The doctor was under surveillance by Amaterasu, but he was still looking for a chance to escape. When he learned a hitman was after him, he figured his chance had arrived. The doctor was hoping to use the security system to kill the hitman and use the body as a decoy.
Now that I think about it, the doctor did seem to be waiting for the hitman to arrive.
The hitman hasn't arrived yet. When will he show up? Don't tell me this so-called first-rate hitman was captured by peacekeepers.
But the hitman never did show up. That's why the doctor had a sudden change of plans.
And that was the act he put on by asking, "Who are you?"
Perhaps that was a trap to lure you in, Yuma.
He was trying to lure Master?
He considered taking advantage of the detectives, since the hitman never showed up. So if he called for help, he would charge into the lab, not knowing anything about the security system, and thereby acquire the corpse he needed as his decoy.
Wow.
That seems overly complicated. Like those guys who overthink asking girls out?
Well, he couldn't have used another researcher. Someone would have noticed their absence. He needed visitors, people from outside to pull it off.
Huh. Deswegen auch dieses, also es gab keinen Killer im Labor.
So if I didn't know about the security and had rushed into the lab...
You'd be a super sexy skeleton right now. Aw, so close.
Die ist so schlimm.
You want that?
But the doctor's plan failed, and he actually got boom-killed by the hitman. I get what he was trying to do, but what about the impossible murder?
Assuming the attack on the doctor was just an act when we saw him through the intercom, we at least know for sure the real attack hadn't happened yet.
In other words, the culprit entered the lab after that exchange. So the problem is, when did they actually enter?
Ganz einfach mit dem Roboter. Weil die Tür so langsam aufgeht. Huh?
Where are we?
This place is a real mystery. Then again, I suppose that checks out.
Huh? Shinigami?
Yeah! Master! This looks like an important turning point! So, is that your final answer?
I haven't said anything yet!
Der Täter betrat das Labor vor Amalpal.
Master, you need to narrow down the timing for when the culprit got inside. Now then, here's our fateful fork in the road. It's life or death! We are at the crossroads of mystery and solution. This earth-shattering choice may be your last. Now, Master, which one will you choose?
Wie der Stick halt einfach hin und her geht. Vor Amalpal? Nein. Ach so war das
When I
gemeint.
directed Amalpal to go into the doctor's lab, he already had a knife stuck in him.
Ach so war das gemeint.
Which means he was murdered before Amalpal entered the doctor's lab.
Your answer is correct! Congratulations, Master! Would you like to double down?
What are you talking about? Anyway, let's keep going.
Ja, die kommen auf einen Scheiß, ne? Ich find's geil.
Little by little, we're narrowing down when the culprit entered.
Yeah, but we still don't know how yet. It had to be between when we spoke to the doctor over the intercom and when Amalpal entered his lab. During that time, the culprit entered the doctor's lab and murdered him.
So the most likely time would be when you went to borrow Amalpal, Master. The culprit had to have entered the lab then.
But Fubuki waited at the front chamber while Desuhiko and I went to borrow Amalpal. She said no one entered or left the lab.
Oh. Das ist schon, Alter, wie weit geht er es?
Huh? We're back on the original path.
Maybe you're supposed to try opening that door now.
I'm sure that from here on out, it's not just about when, but also how the culprit got in. Yuma, there's no need to push yourself if things get too hard.
No, I can do it. I'm going to solve it.
Wo war der Täter vor der Tat?
This is a map of the critical lab.
So we have to determine where the culprit was before the murder.
We'll have to solve them one at a time. Let's start with this mystery.
If we know where the culprit was before they got in, this route will be clear too. Do you know where, Yuma?
Here! The culprit must have been here! After the exchange on the intercom, given there was always a detective at the front chamber. When we went to borrow Amapal, the culprit had to have already made their way inside. But the airlock is the only location that isn't affected by the security system. There. The culprit had to be inside that decontamination device before committing the crime.
But I thought he was just hiding in there to avoid being spotted after the crime.
Beides.
So you think the culprit was in there before the crime too?
Yeah, the culprit was waiting for their chance. But we had no idea when we sent Amapal into the airlock.
And from there, Yuma, you guided Amapal to the doctor's lab. So the culprit entered the doctor's lab before them? How would that be possible? Only Amapal could get past security, right?
Yeah, that's the next big question.
Maybe the culprit used another Amapal unit.
No, the researcher mentioned there was only one functioning Amapal.
Which means the Amapal Yuma controlled was the only one that could get past security.
So the culprit must have taken advantage of Master's Amapal to get into the doctor's lab.
Yeah, that's the only way. But how did they use it? There's no solving the doctor's murder until we figure that out.
Well, I have an idea. Will you hear me out?
Warum zerlegst du das eigentlich alles?
What is it?
How about giving up? I'm getting tired.
Nope, motion denied. Another fork in the road? Such a complicated mystery labyrinth.
Wie hat der Ted Amapal genutzt?
Beyond each problem lies the truth. We're definitely getting closer to the heart of this mystery.
Ah, das Schild.
Huh? What do you mean, use Amapal as a shield?
Amapal is supposed to be sturdy enough to withstand an elephant stepping on it, right? The culprit may have used Amapal as a shield against the security system.
So, the culprit followed behind Amapal to avoid the toxic gas and explosions?
I get it! You're so smart, Master!
Ich weiß.
Really? I don't think so.
Hey! Master just showed off how smart and logical he is.
Schlecht, alter Amapal.
Master wasn't smart after all! Come on, take it from the top!
Kann mit Amapal umgangen werden.
It's gonna crush us!
Hä? Ja, aber eigentlich schon. Du musst ihn halt bloß dazu benutzen. Aber ich weiß schon, was sie meinen.
Yeah! Even if Amapal itself is fine, it wouldn't be able to protect the culprit from the toxic gas.
Könnte mit Amapal umgangen werden. Oh, auch nicht.
Even though Amapal is sturdy, it couldn't withstand the high voltage shock from the panel chamber.
Ich sag's nicht mehr dazu, die machen es ja eh so viel zu länger, als man eigentlich denkt.
Which means it'd be impossible to use Amapal to protect yourself.
You're only realizing this now. At this rate, you'll be a grandpa before you stop being a rookie.
Perhaps you will improve in the next life.
I'm trying my best in this life!
Das ist wieder so ein Ding, wo ich alle 3 machen muss, ne? Dachte ich mir von Anfang an schon.
Do you think neither is really the right answer?
Given the process of elimination, that must be it. Amapal's hands aren't designed to hold anything, so it couldn't use the knife to murder the doctor. Which means Amapal wasn't the murder weapon. And the culprit couldn't have used it as a shield. It can't neutralize the toxic gas, and the high-voltage shock would destroy it.
So then, how did the culprit use Amapal?
I think we'll find out if we continue down this path.
Huh? That was the wrong answer? Come on, Master!
Cool. Sag ja doch alle 3. Hä?
Huh?
We've been here before. It looks like we've been brought back.
But the door we opened earlier is closed again. Why's that?
Yeah, I wonder why.
War der Täter vor der Tat?
Huh? Even the question is the same. Does that mean we gotta do it all over again?
Well, the logic is still sound. There's no other hiding spot for the culprit besides the airlock.
So you want to choose the same answer and keep going?
If you do, you'll just repeat the whole process again. We'll just be brought back here if we can't figure out how did the culprit use Amapal. And I refuse to walk any more than I have to.
Hey, don't sit down!
What should I do?
Stand up! Stand up right now!
Stop it. Leave me alone.
If you want me to leave you alone, then help my useless master out!
Fine. Just one thing, then. We're back at... Where was the culprit before the crime? Because you're stuck at... How did the culprit use Amapal? With that in mind, these 2 questions are connected.
Connected? Both the culprit's location and how Amapal was used?
Help him out more! More!
The culprit was hiding in the airlock, where you also left the robot, right? At that moment, only the culprit and Amapal were there. So maybe the culprit did something.
The culprit did something to Amapal?
Clues are always there, right under your nose. It's a detective's job to notice them. Did you notice anything strange back then? Any tiny detail? Try to remember.
Something strange. Hey! Now that you mention it, back then...
Oh hey, the screen lit up. So this is what Amapal sees. It's like the cockpit of a mecha.
Whoa, what was that?
Did it break already? I thought it was state of the art.
No, it's alright. It's stabilized. There was a moment when the camera stopped functioning while I was controlling Amapal. It returned to normal pretty quick, but maybe...
See? I told you it was right under your nose. You don't need any additional help from me, right?
That was a clue to help solve this mystery?
Actually, everything in this world is a key to solving mysteries. You just haven't noticed them. Perhaps there is more you're overlooking. Was there anything else unusual?
Something unusual. Something I missed.
Anything else? It's not like Amapal's camera showed the culprit.
Wait, that's it!
Huh?
Now that I think about it, wasn't that strange? The culprit must have gotten ahead of Amapal, but why didn't they ever show up on the camera? If the culprit went past Amapal to enter the doctor's lab, they would have been spotted for sure.
Now that you mention it...
But nobody showed up on camera. How did the culprit manage to pull that off? How can you move from the airlock to the doctor's lab without appearing even once on Amapal's camera?
Hey, aren't you just adding another mystery?
No. All the pieces are here.
Huh?
Yuma, the mysteries you face now can be solved with a single answer.
A single answer?
Sheesh. I talk too much.
Täter Amapal benutzt. Warum ist der Täter nicht auf der Kameraaufnahme
Mystery
aufgetaucht?
after another! What do you do now? It's a Pandora's box of mysteries!
Let's stay calm and think about it. There's plenty of time.
Or not. I'll keep reading while you wrap things up.
Remember what he said, Master. All it takes is one answer to solve these mysteries. Use those weak brain cells of yours and think!
Culprit's location. Amapal's usage. Its malfunction. Why didn't the culprit appear on camera? All this can be solved with just one answer?
War die ganze Zeit auf Amapals Kopf? Echt? Wie hat der Täter Amapal benutzt? Als Spielkamera, als Waffe? Als Transportmittel? Der Täter sprang auf ihn drauf. Er war auf dem Kopf, er war in Amapal Kamerafehler.
I got it! The culprit rode on Amapal's head, using it as a method of transportation.
Ja, aber das würde doch im Giftgasraum nicht funktionieren.
The door opened!
With every open door, it will be harder for you to turn back. Are you sure you want to keep going?
Absolutely! I will find the truth no matter what. This is for the Nocturnal Detective Agency.
Hey, you said the culprit rode on top of Amapal. What did you mean by that?
Literally what I said. The culprit rode Amapal and used it to get through. After we left Amapal in the airlock, the culprit came out of the decontamination device. Then they jumped on Amapal's head. The disruption in the footage was from the impact.
That's insane.
Is it? I think it's fairly reasonable. Amapal can withstand up to 100 kilograms of weight. So, someone riding on it shouldn't affect its functionality.
The shoe print on Amapal's head wasn't caused by someone kicking it. It was left there from the culprit hopping on and off.
After that, the culprit simply rode on it as it moved toward the doctor's lab. By doing so, the culprit was able to evade the camera and remain hidden as they made their way through the lab.
You're right. If it's true, then it does solve all of the previous mysteries. Imagining the culprit riding on a robot makes me laugh.
But Yuma, have you not realized it? you're still missing something. One major mystery remains.
What's with that huge sigh?
The greatest mystery of this case should appear soon. Just the thought of it gets me feeling down.
This case's greatest mystery?
Und das mit dem Giftgas ist das Einzige. Aber wenn er drauf geritten ist...
This is the panel chamber.
That means the doctor's lab is just beyond it. If we can get through here, we'll reach the goal, yeah?
Täter von Amapal abgestiegen.
Is this the greatest mystery you mentioned?
Not exactly what I was envisioning.
Well, this is the mystery to be solved, so let's clear it out.
Beats me.
Schon da, ne?
The culprit murdered the doctor before Amapal entered the room. Which means the culprit had to have gotten ahead of Amapal at some point. It was when the door first opened. At that moment, the culprit snuck into the doctor's room.
Yeah, when the doors were slowly opening, just like this. That's when the culprit took their chance.
Right. The moment there was enough space for a person to slip through, the culprit hopped off and went inside.
Like this?
Oh, das Todesspiel kommt wieder, ne? Oder? Na, was ist los?
We still haven't reached the goal. I thought we could get into the doc's lab now.
Is this a joke to you? Your deduction is full of holes. If this is a joke, it's not very funny.
Master, you know what to do.
Of course.
I'll take your garbage deduction and toss it in the trash. I am the saint of Kanai Ward, protecting it from filth like you!
Ich bin der Schmutz, während er Leute wegräumen lässt.
The culprit hopped off Amapal as the door opened, then slipped through the gap in the door. That's impossible, even for Fink the Slaughter Artist! Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight changed just a bit, the camera would have caught it. No one would do something so risky. The crime would have been exposed.
Merk mal, der Geist von Amapals Design.
The culprit must be really lucky, huh?
Das war's, ne?
That's right.
The culprit hopped off.
Amapal as the door opened, then slipped through the gap in the door. That's impossible, even to Fink the Slaughter Artist. Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight changed just a bit, the camera would have caught it.
Ah, das wär's
No one would do something so
gewesen.
risky. The crime would have been exposed. The culprit must be really lucky, huh? What, did they use some sort of special power?
Power?
The culprit hopped off Amapal as the door opened, then slipped through the gap in the
Door?
That's impossible, even to Fink the
Slaughter Artist!
Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight
Changed just a bit.
Das wär's.
Flash through this mystery.
Aber er schlägt auch selber zu, habt ihr das gesehen? Einmal schlägt er mit dem Schwert zu.
When its hand is stretched out, it won't execute any other inputs. That's why when it was pressing the button for the door, the culprit didn't show up on the camera.
You little maggots. Don't get so full of yourselves. You're not getting out of here alive.
Okay, das war's schon.
I get it. So Amapel couldn't move while the door was opening. That's when the culprit took their chance.
Since the door opens outward, it's possible to take advantage of the blind spot it creates. That's how the culprit managed to stay outside the camera's view as they entered the doctor's room.
So it's an elaborate murder that took advantage of Amapel's design, and even the direction the door opens. Whoever planned this must have really wanted the doctor dead. I guess you can call it an obsession. How scary. Just like this passageway. Where will it take us? Perhaps a suite with the culprit's obsession in full display? A room of nightmares?
Knock it off with the weird soliloquies. Let's go.
You're really going?
Huh?
Schon wieder?
Again? What's with this thing?
Hey, when the culprit entered the doctor's room while the door was open,
Huh?
at the time, the doctor was in the room, right? If the door opened and an intruder entered, how could the doctor not have noticed?
So what if he did notice? It's not a big deal.
Yes, it is. If he had noticed an intruder, the doctor would have turned to face him. Which means he wouldn't have been stabbed in the back.
That piece of trash is right. Your logic is flawed.
Hey, what are you, on the Phantom side now?
Listen to my incredible words of wisdom. Your crappy deduction is worth less than shit! Everything you do is a fucking mistake!
Was für eine Akkumulation. Alles ist scheiße, Pech gehabt. Das ist jetzt das letzte, hoffentlich.
Damn it! Your deduction is inconsistent. It's full of inconsistencies. By your logic, even if the doctor could be stabbed, it wouldn't be from behind. That's all impossible!
Oh.
Damn it!
Your deduction is inconsistent.
Instant.
It's full of inconsistencies. By your
Logic, even if the doctor could be stabbed, it wouldn't be from behind.
That claim doesn't hold up!
Warum ist das zurückgewiesen?
No, the culprit did stab the doctor in the back. That's how the body was discovered.
That's why I'm saying your deduction is inconsistent. By your logic, the doctor couldn't have been murdered in that way!
Emotionen mit Dr. Wesker. Messer von Finkdem schlechter Künstler. Laborkarte. Eine Person mit Schwefelsäure bespritzt wird. Ah.
The culprit quickly entered the lab, But the doctor was in the room at the time, right? There's no way he missed an intruder. Running is noisy.
Hä?
The culprit quickly entered the lab. But the doctor was in the room at the time, right? There's no way he missed an intruder.
Running is noisy. So Wesker would have heard and turned to face the
Culprit.
And his chest would have been stabbed, not his back. Unless you think the doctor was asleep. Is there any trace of him being drugged? Even if he didn't look back from his desk, he would have heard someone coming.
Ah, jetzt haben wir.
This is the truth! Wait, the doctor had trouble hearing. That's why he didn't notice the intruder.
Now you're spouting nonsense. Say whatever you want, it won't save you. There's a gaping hole in your logic. And there's no way you're gonna fill it at this rate. Because you, more than anyone else, you're the one refusing to see the truth right before your eyes.
Oh, fuck, kommt nochmal.
What? I refuse to see the truth? Vivius said the same thing, but...
It's strange, don't you think? Isn't it about time you noticed that something's off here?
Huh?
You've solved many mysteries up to now, yet none of them are directly connected to the culprit's identity.
That's because the culprit is the hitman.
If that's the case, why haven't you reaped the hitman's soul? And that would end the labyrinth.
It's not that easy. The culprit will fight back, unless we solve all the mysteries first. Hang on. What are you getting at?
In my eyes, the reason a single mystery hasn't been directly connected to the culprit is because of Yuma's reluctance. It's pushing away the mysteries that lead to the culprit.
Oh, scheiße. Nein, oder? Du erzählst mir, dass Chief Yaku der Mörder ist. Oh, fuck.
Huh?
Subconsciously, you're closing your eyes to the truth. That's why you haven't touched on the hole in your reasoning.
What hole?
Whatever, that's enough. Just ignore this guy and keep going.
Hey!
Wegen dem Bild.
Yuma. Yuma.
Jeez, go away!
You know what I'm talking about, don't you? The huge hole in this investigation?
What are you...
Just ignore him.
Let's review your deduction, shall we? The culprit took advantage of Amapau's locked position and entered the lab. And before the robot entered the room, that person stabbed the doctor from behind. However, they bumped into Amapau while escaping, causing it to fall over. That was obviously a mistake, but since it wasn't captured on video, they were able to avoid detection. After that, the culprit went inside the decontamination device in the airlock to hide from you.
That's correct. So what's the hole in my deduction?
It's before all of that. It remains the case's greatest mystery.
Which is?
How did the culprit get past security?
What?
We already told you that. The culprit rode on top of Amapal as Master controlled it and was taken all the way to the doctor's lab.
But if someone was riding on it, how did they get past the high voltage shocks in the panel chamber?
Oh.
This is the end for you! You have nowhere left to go!
Oh, come on! Why now?
I won't let you maggots ruin the peace of Kanai Ward! As the king of Amaterasu Corporation and the guardian of Kanai Ward, I will stop you here and now!
Perhaps this, too, is an obsession. Why does he insist on covering up the truth? Tell me, what will you do, Yuma? Are you going to stay willfully blind?
No, I'll fight. Whether it's subconscious or not, I won't look away from the truth. I'll find the truth no matter what. This is for the Chief and everyone at the Nocturnal Detective Agency.
Good luck! You'll never find it. You'll scurry around this labyrinth forever. Like blind, you'll rot away in it, looking for an answer that will never come!
Der Terror wusste, dass die Zeit zurückgedreht werden kann. Der wusste von Fufukis Vorteil. Was halt einfach nur unsere Leute sein können. Und ja.
Keep playing with your shit deductions. You still haven't solved the greatest mystery! How did the culprit get past the security? The critical lab security system was always live. There was no way to reach the doctor. The panel chamber shocks would have fried the culprit. That security system? No living human can breach it! Don't tell me the culprit is a robot!
Nee, das war komisch, das war blöd.
Come on.
Right.
Keep playing with your shit deductions. You still haven't solved the greatest mystery. How did the culprit get past the security? The critical lab security system was always live. There was no way to reach the doctor. The panel chamber shots would have fried the culprit. That security system? No living human can
Breach it!
Don't tell me the culprit is a robot.
But... that's right.
Keep playing with your shit deductions. You still haven't solved the greatest mystery! How did the culprit get past the security? The critical lab security system was always live. There was no way to reach the doctor. The panel chamber shocks would have fried the culprit. That security system? No living human can breach it!
I'll slash through this mystery.